we're gonna get started. I want to respect everybody's time because it's a very busy time of year. So thank you for coming to the senior panel. My name is Kelly Warner. I am the Mission Bay Chair this year. And I am a teacher at Sessions Elementary, and I have 4 children in the cluster, one at Sessions, 1 at PB Middle, and 2 here at the high school. So I'm as invested as you are in the cluster and how well it does, and this year we're doing things a little bit differently for the panel. We have chosen to have our moderators be students from within the cluster, so we have each elementary school and the middle school represented here at the table. So I'm going to introduce them first, and then I will start off with the first question for all the panelists, and then the moderators will take it from there. So they're gonna have a microphone. You guys are just gonna have to practice your speaking voice and projecting loudly. First, our first moderator is Zoe Peters from PB Middle School. Our second moderator is William Deaton from PB Middle School. Stand up, let everybody see you. There you go. Then we have Leo Schaefer O'Neill from PB Middle School. We have Ben Peterson from Sessions Elementary. Turn and face that way too, let them see you. There you go. Mia Edwards from Sessions Elementary. Shelby Skies from PBE. Teddy Yu from Bernard. And Maya Bushway from Crown Point. Maya. So thank you guys so much for taking time out of your busy day to be here. Panelists, I am going to turn your introductions over to you. So I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself, share with us what elementary school you went to, if you went to an elementary school within the cluster. If you choiced in, why did you choice into Mission Bay High School? And then what are your plans for next year? Okay? So Victor, I'm going to start with you.
Hi guys, my name is Victor Lopez. I came from Longfellow and going to San Diego State.
Hi everyone, my name is Jalen. I choiced into the cluster. I think something that was really important to my mom was the IB program, and I'm a music student, so we have a really good music program, so that was something that was important to me as well. And then I'll be at San Francisco State next year, so yeah.
Hi, my name is Rosie, and I'm going to San Diego State, and the elementary school I went to was Longfellow, and I came to Mission Bay for the IB program as well.
Hi, I'm Camilla. I'm going to be going to UC Davis. I'm really excited. I choiced into the cluster because my parents were also big fans of the IB program.
Hi, I'm Imani. I went to Longfellow, so I choiced into the cluster because of the IB program and the softball team, and I'll be going to Alabama's Honors College in the fall.
Hi, my name is Jaquela. I attended Longfellow, and I choiced into Mission Bay for the IB program, and I will be attending San Francisco State.
Hi, my name is Charlie Hutchison. I attended Kate Sessions Elementary, and next year I'll be going to Pomona College.
Hi everyone, my name is Chelsea Long. I choiced into the cluster in PBMS in 8th grade, mainly because of the IB program, and next year I'll be at Brown University.
I'm Alessandra. I went to Longfellow, and I choiced in for the IB program, and I'm going to New York University.
Hi, my name is Justine Hickman. I went to Barnard Elementary, and I will be attending the University of Minnesota in the fall.
Hello, I'm Christopher Zaraga, and I'm actually still deciding between UC Santa Cruz and UC Davis since I got off the waitlist, so I'm hopeful. Oh, I'm sorry. I went to Cadman Elementary for school.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. So we have a lot to celebrate with you guys. Awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause. It's a huge accomplishment. And I appreciate you guys sitting facing each other because you guys are looking at your future there, right? And things that you could be back here in a few years' time sitting on the panel. Okay, so I am going to turn the mic over to Zoe, who's going to start us off with your first question. Think about your answer, and we want to hear from all of you, okay?
What class, teacher, or experience at Mission Bay High School do you feel most prepared you for your next steps and why?
You guys can think about it first, and then we'll start with Victor and go down the line. If you want her to repeat it, she can repeat it. Go ahead, Zoe.
What class, teacher, or experience at Mission Bay High School do you feel most prepared you for your next steps and why?
I would say Mr. Jaffe prepared me a lot, mainly because although Mr. Jaffe for computer science. Okay. Alright. So I would say the class that prepared me, or the teacher that prepared me the most was Mr. Jaffe, who taught IB computer science, and prior to that in sophomore year, he taught me AP computer science principles. And so I really want to emphasize that a lot of the questions I had for him were always like outside of class or things that I was interested in. Just because of my own interest that he was like there to answer it for me. And so now that I'm pursuing computer science as my major at SDSU, he kind of like launched me into it, made me more certain.
I would say for me, something that I've learned that I think I'm going to value for the rest of my life is punctuality. Being a music kid, I get a lot of gigs. I play piano. And so something, our teacher's phrase is, early is on time is late. Late is punishable by death. And so, yeah, we get a class grade for being on time, as well as in the professional world. If you're not on time, if you're not looking sharp, you're not going to get called back again. So I think that's something that I value.
For me, I think it was.
Hold on, Rosie.
For me, a teacher that really helped me become more prepared and more comfortable in the classroom was Mr. Mora. Mr. Mora is our math teacher here for pre-calc calculus and IB analysis, and I had him for pre-calc and calc. And before him, I was not the best in math, and then when I got to his classroom, I got a lot stronger and I felt more comfortable in my math skills. And for him, he taught me that working hard, it definitely pays off in the long run, and that it's what you put into it will come out. So Mr. Mora taught me a lot during those years.
For me, it was Mr. Panion, definitely. So for you guys that don't know Mr. Panion, he is an IB history teacher. He teaches one class for first year for juniors, and then he teaches, if you're taking IB history your senior year, he teaches all the seniors, and he's amazing. Something that he's doing right now is that he's teaching us the amendments, which is our rights. And even if we're done with his lessons and his lectures and we've taken that IB test, he's taking time out of just to teach us our rights. And what I love is that he uses those experiences of how important our rights are by connecting it to his own life. So today he was telling us stories in class about events that happened in his life when he got pulled over, and just what to do in those situations, just so we know and we're prepared. And that's what I love about him, that he'll take a lesson and he'll attach it to himself, so we have something to connect to.
A class that was very beneficial for me in terms of life skills would be ASB. In ASB, we throw extremely large events. We throw $50,000 homecoming, and with that, we were able to learn a lot of life skills like business running. We have a cafe that runs in about $4,000 to $5,000 a month. So with that, we can use that money towards those events. We also learn great leadership skills. We have a bunch of commissioners, and then we have our officers. I'm ASB president this year, so I was able to learn how to run the class overall, and then I was able to also attend student board meetings, which was very beneficial because I want to be a poli-sci major. So with that, I'm able to just get that experience and use it in the future.
I would probably say ASB as well. Like Imani said, there was a lot of great leadership skills. I am one of the commissioners of Buck TV, so I am the anchor on the school news. So I spend a lot of time learning about the community outside of school and in school, and I think that has prepared me a lot for the future, especially being able to speak up and learn about different people's experiences.
The experience that I think prepared me most for the next level was playing basketball. Our head coach, Marshawn Cherry, is notoriously very demanding, and having to balance that with a full IB schedule was really tough, and I had to make some sacrifices as far as learning when to hang out with my friends, when not to, just overall time management skills, and then just the amount of work that you do have to put in to win games, and stay on top of classes. So.
For me, the experience at Mission Bay that I think prepared me the most for my immediate future would be the extended essay, which is a 4,000-word research essay you write if you are going full IB. It helps you with learning how to do research and learning how to independently take on this giant project by yourself. And we have great support from teachers and great guidance along every step of the process. And after I finished that project, I really felt like I was ready to write and research and analyze at a college level. And so I feel really confident heading into college, and I feel prepared as a student.
I would probably say the most beneficial class for me was my IB history class senior year, taught by Mr. Panion. More because there were a lot of deadlines and a lot of assignments that kind of had to be met really quickly, and that kind of prepares me for college because that's going to simulate like a college situation. I'm going to have a lot of things to do and a lot of like tasks I need to get done. And I also want to be a journalist, so I have to be able to keep up with deadlines, and I think that class really prepared me for that.
The teachers that prepared me the most were definitely Mr. Panion and Mr. Mora. I was very fortunate to have Mr. Panion for 2 years, so I had him my junior year as well. And that is also when I had Mr. Mora for calculus. During that time, they really taught me that hard work really shows off within your studies, especially while I was playing club volleyball. Time management was very crucial, and that's something that they taught me to really focus in on, and that way my senior year this year was a lot easier for me.
Yeah, and I would actually like to add on to that. So for my own personal experience, I would say Mr. Mora was also very influential, and this of course applies to all other teachers, because a major factor about the school is the self-disciplining that you have to go to because of how rigorous the IB course can be if you decide to go down that path. It's not just about, of course, working on your own, it's also about finding the help you need, being able to communicate, and of course letting those thoughts come out without feeling like you are alone in the school, which obviously you will not be once you come here.
Ben, Ben's gonna ask a question, we'll just work the way this way. Does that work? And then just to let you know, we are recording on YouTube, so if your family wants to see this and can't be, they'll have access to it another time.
So my question is, what advice would you give to incoming 9th graders coming into Mission Bay High School?
I would say definitely try your best to put yourself out there. Initially, I used to be a pretty quiet kid, and I did at times find it difficult to make friends, but as long as you're just willing to put your passions out there, whatever hobby it is. One of my passions, for example, is chess. My freshman year, I decided to make a chess club out of it, and the process was very easy. All the teachers, staff, and the students who were very kind about it. And after that, your experiences will honestly just grow very quickly and you will adapt.
For me, I would say confidence is definitely key. Remember that coming in as 9th graders, you're all in the same boat and in the same situation. So you're all entering a new atmosphere, classes, everything. So definitely try and just be yourself in that moment. And you have amazing support staff here at Mission Bay, and then you have all your friends who are coming in along with you. And even if you're coming in not knowing anybody, you still have incredible teachers who you can lean on for support.
I would probably say get involved and like go to school events, like go to homecoming, go to football games, go to like social events. Like even if you don't know people, it's a good opportunity to meet people. And then by getting involved in the school, you just consistently get to meet more and more people, and then just foster those relationships.
I'm gonna definitely agree with Alessa. I would say getting involved with the community is super important. One way I did this was through getting involved with clubs, like Chris was talking about. I think joining clubs is one of the greatest ways you can sort of join the social community, because you're not just making friends with other freshmen, you're meeting seniors, juniors, sophomores, people all throughout the school. And your first year you can have opportunities to get great advice and do great things as part of clubs, and as well as sports and a lot of other things, so yeah.
Similarly to their answers, my advice would be just go 100% in everything the first year. Go 100% on your social life. Go to as many football games as you can. Go to homecoming. Try as many clubs. Do too much the first year, and then you can kind of figure out what you can handle, what you like. try a class that's way too hard for you, but go 100% your first year.
I would have to agree. I would definitely say confidence is key. Join as many clubs as you want, create your own club, join sports, try out for whatever. Definitely there's a lot of things here at Mission Bay, so you could experiment. If you want to, like Chris did, create a chess club. If you want to create a chess club, create another one. Dr. Brown will definitely support you in any way that he can. So yeah, I'd say confidence is key, and just like Charlie said, go 100%, do what you can.
Yeah, as others have said, definitely be involved in school. A great aspect about Mission Bay is that we have a lot of sports, and you don't have to be, incredible at them to join them. That you can build up and become an incredible player. So in those sports, you get a lot of discipline, you learn great work ethic, and you build lifelong relationships. So I think that's definitely a good aspect about Mission Bay.
I feel like those are good foundation for yourself. Like, as mentioned before, Chelsea said something beautiful about when you join a club, you're going to be meeting sophomores, juniors, and seniors. There's a big senior that impacted my life when I was a sophomore, and right now I'm looking to him for advice because we're starting college, and I actually met him through a club that I joined, Outreach Club, and it's kind of full circle because now I'm president of the Outreach Club, and he left in my hands, and he was president when I first joined the club. So I just say, build a good foundation, look up to others, because you're the first of many, so.
Yeah, no, definitely what Camilla said. I'm actually I've been reaching out to people that I'm in college, like at SDSU, like how are the classes, and it's really beneficial. But I'd also say connect with your teachers, get to know them well. That way you get a lot of support and you feel comfortable with them, and you're not afraid to ask for help, because that's a big thing. Another thing is sports. Don't be afraid to try anything new. I think in track, I just tried all the events just to see what I liked, and I'm glad I did, because then I got to branch out and meet so many new people.
I guess I'm kind of on the same path. If you're at the end of the day choose to be an IB student, there's a lot of 2-year courses, and so something that integrates different class levels are those 2-year courses. So you'll get to know people from other grades, and I would say definitely also building strong relationships with your teachers, and also importantly the office staff. It can get you a lot, they can help you. They can help you. So, yeah. Always make more friends than enemies.
I guess I'll re-emphasize a little more, but especially when you go into IB, a lot of the people you're gonna see, they're gonna stick with you there, and a lot of times you're gonna be put into some situations because IB is rigorous, right? And you're gonna look towards those people that have been there maybe 1 year or longer. You might have known them since kindergarten, especially if you went to Longfellow. So definitely hammer in, go get to know people, make friends, and yeah, it's basically sophomore year, your freshman year, you get to really enjoy it. It's a free creative experience.
Whoops, okay. So my question is, looking back through all your education here in the Mission Bay cluster, so elementary school, middle school, or high school, depending on when you joined the cluster, which teacher had the biggest impact on you and why?
I think some of you answered that. So if there's another teacher that we didn't talk about, or another you want to mention, do you have anybody else?
Well, he's already been brought up, but I want to say Mr. Panion. Mr. Panion, see, I already liked history in the beginning, especially because I'm going to give a shout out to my 8th grade teachers, Sniaga Deverzuza from Longfellow, one of the best history teachers I've known. But Mr. Panion, again, he's about equal right there, and then I only say that a little bit lower because his class is hard, but I'm here, I'm graduating because of him. He really hammered in a lot of that Cold War, Fidel Castro information. Oh, you guys are gonna love that. He hammered that in real good, and I want to say that his classes are rigorous because he's trying to get that into your guys' head, and he really does care. And a lot of the times, if you ever have a question, you always go up to him, and he'll always answer you, and he'll make sure that you understand really well.
An important member probably in my educational career for my PB kids would probably be Ms. Henson. She's so supportive, and I feel like being an ASB at that time, I learned a lot of people skills. I was so shy, I was so introverted, and I kept to myself in middle school. And now I would like to think that I have like a lot of friends, and I'm pretty sociable and like Google person. So I'd like to think that I feel like I was pretty close with Ms. Henson, and I developed a club at PB. I was part of the Builders Club, or Key Club over there. So that was my thing. So just working with her also taught me, as like a young student, how to work with adults and like become friends with them, which is another thing that I was saying was important. So, yeah.
For me, another teacher here at Mission Bay was Mr. Mann. Mr. Mann is our engineering teacher, and he's kind of new. For me, he's taught me that like you're able to do anything if you really put your mind to it. Like there's so many things I've learned through his class from him, like a lot of hands-on work and a lot of math work that we did throughout the years, and it's really like motivated me to actually major in a STEM field. So he was really helpful, and he's really great because you can ask him anything as well, and he's always there for all of his students.
Well, you guys already heard me shout out Mr. Pinion, but I also have someone else I want to shout out, Miss Coda. She's right there. I love that woman. She is so sweet. So Miss Coda, she's amazing. I walk by her office every morning and I say hi to her. Usually it's because I'm late, so don't be late, guys. But I just love her because she's just there for me. It changes your experience when you have someone that truly believes in you, wants you to succeed, and is just looking forward to the best. So yeah.
I know I already mentioned ASB, but I do want to shout out our ASB advisor, Miss Littlefield. She's incredible. She kind of forces everyone to be a leader with her energy, and just the happiness she brings to our class is great. You know, we have our spirit days that not everybody wants to participate in, and she'll show up and dress head to toe in USA colors and a tutu and a headband on. And not only that, but she also majored in English, so she's very helpful whenever you need someone to look over your essays and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, overall she's just been really helpful.
I would say probably Mr. Lancia. He teaches yearbook and AVID? Film, IB film, but he is an AVID teacher for sophomores. Mr. Lancia is a great teacher, overall just an amazing person. Anything you need, he has your back regardless. He also used to teach English, so anything you need help with English-wise, he's definitely there. I can say that because I've definitely been to him multiple times about my college essays. So overall, he's just a great person and a resource for you to use.
I would like to shout out Mr. Sheehy, who hasn't been mentioned yet, but he's our IB English teacher, and before his class, my mom would have to prod me to read, and then just kind of the passion that he teaches each book with really gets you into it, and I found myself reading through every single book he taught this year, which for most high school students is somewhat rare. But yeah, so I'd like to give Mr. Sheehy his flowers.
I want to talk about the Spanish program at PBMS and Mission Bay High School. When I came to PBMS, I had basically never taken Spanish before, so I started with Miss Ramos in 1-2, and she was genuinely amazing. She always made me feel supported, and she had a good balance of instructing us about the language while also like giving us opportunities to talk and really practice with the language. And it was that time when I really got interested in learning this language and studying grammar and all that sort of thing. And then that's just continued throughout high school. I've had so many opportunities to read, speak, sing songs in Spanish, and it's really been amazing. And I'm actually going to graduate with the seal of biliteracy on my transcript, so I'm really grateful for that.
I want to shout out Miss Junn. She was our sophomore chemistry teacher. I think almost all of us had her. I'm not really a big chemistry fan in general, but I just really liked her class. I was in a really small class compared to others. It was about 12 kids, which is rare for most classes. And I've just continued to have a relationship with her even now, even though I don't have that class anymore. And it was really helpful. And I just feel like I have a really a friendship with my teacher, and that's kind of out of the ordinary sometimes.
I want to mention Miss Balistreri. She is one of the most genuine people on this campus. She's one of our younger teachers here, so she really understands problems that we're going through, having not graduated super long ago. I'm lucky enough to have had her for 3 years. So she was incredible for the past 3 years, and especially developing a close relationship to her and feeling like I could develop a close relationship to her really encouraged me to do the work within her class and continue the academics within this high school.
I would say for me, a teacher that significantly impacted me was back in sophomore year, my AP Physics teacher, Mr. Scivia. Since I would say in his classroom, I learned not just about the importance of course, compassion and what it means to have friends and how it is to support each other, but also the importance it is to like actually get out there and start practicing the subjects on your own at home, get studying, get working, because before him, I was a pretty cocky student. I thought I could just get by without having to study at all. I thought I was a smart student until I got to his class. It's really, really difficult, which he made me realize, he opened my eyes to realize, like, look, you have to put in the work, you have to put in the effort. It's not always talent. Of course, talent can get you places, but with hard work, that's truly, truly going to elevate you.
If you could promote Mission Bay High School, what would you want others to know about the school or the cluster?
That's a good question. I would definitely say, actually, I would just say how easy it is to communicate with the staff and teachers. For the past month or so, I would say I would actually be going over to my counselor's office every single day, because since I'm a first-gen student, first in my family to go to college, it's extremely important for me to get stuff like financial aid, classes, and other important stuff for college settled together. And just having the opportunity to communicate all of my thoughts and yeah, any obstacles with my teachers and the staff has honestly just been super easy, super fluent.
I would say definitely the staff here at Mission Bay. I would definitely promote them in order to promote the school. This school, I feel like we stand out within the relationships that we have in our classes and just in our community in general. And then our cluster is very active. My mom has been a member of the Mission Bay cluster forever. Me and then my older sister, I have a younger brother, so she'll still be here for a while. But they just are really active and determined to help the kids within our community.
I'd say the IB program, it's kind of like there's only 2 schools in San Diego that even have IB, and it's definitely a very rigorous path and stressful, and at times it's like you really don't want to do it, but it's really beneficial to just have that kind of balance of all these different classes, like the English, the history, and the sciences and languages, and like having that is just, it's nice to just have all those classes and have a little bit of everything.
I'm gonna agree with Chris that the staff here at Mission Bay are very understanding and good at communicating with the students. I feel like there are times when teachers, like, we feel like teachers won't understand or they won't be aware of what students are dealing with, but I feel that overwhelmingly, if you talk to a teacher and you are doing that self-advocacy and communicating, asking questions, the teacher will always be open to that and always listen to you. So I really think that success is achievable at Mission Bay because our teachers are such good communicators and they really work with the students, not work against them.
One thing I think Mission Bay has over a lot of the private schools, at least, which are a lot of my friends that I grew up with, their parents would send them to private schools. But Mission Bay has a lot of personality, and I wrote my college diversity essay on the friend group that I have at Mission Bay, and going over to my best friend's house and making lumpia, which is Filipino, and my other best friend is Peruvian. And I think overall the social experience from the diverse, like, socioeconomic and like ethnic groups is just something that you don't get at a lot of competing schools.
I would have to agree with a few of the other members. I would definitely say the staff. A lot of the staff here are here to support you in any way that they can. Most of them could potentially relate to the issues that we're going through, especially because we all went through COVID and that was a big part of everyone's lives. So I would definitely say the staff, definitely get close with the staff members, teachers. They're definitely very helpful.
I would say Mission Bay has a good balance of everything. It caters to a lot of people's different needs and wants. Whether you're looking for academics, you can go through the IB program. We have an incredible music program. Our special ed and STARS program is great as well. We have great school spirit and incredible athletics. So I think overall we're a really well-rounded school with well-rounded students.
I'm also gonna have to shout out the staff. Although you might not have a great experience with the staff, everyone in general, there's always gonna be that one teacher, that one staff member that really looks out for you and that really cares for you.
I was gonna say the academics. One thing that I've noticed compared to other high schools that I have friends with from other schools is the academics is really strong here. We definitely stand out compared to them as well, and it can be rigorous, but like everyone said, the staff are here to help, and they know what we're going through, and they understand the program, so they're very helpful. But yeah, overall, the academics is just competitive, but it pushes you to keep going, and it prepares you for college, which is amazing.
Sound like a broken record, but I just have to shout out the music program once again. I'm in our school's top 2 jazz bands. We just got back from a trip to New Orleans. We were there for 5 days last month, and then last year I was also part of the program, and we went to Japan. So that was truly amazing. This last weekend, on Saturday, we went to music festival. We got to spend a day at Knott's Berry Farm. That was pretty fun. We won first place and everything, like we always do. So I'd definitely say, if you're interested in music, or even if you are a beginner and you want to get into it, we have so many ensembles. There's something for everyone: choir, band, orchestra, jazz.
I guess I'll re-emphasize the staff, especially the IB staff. Eventually, when if you guys really want to pursue it, and you do, you're gonna learn a certain truth during your senior year. You're gonna really appreciate everything you went through, especially with some teachers like Panya or Shini. You're gonna realize that you had fun at times. There's so many times where they would do, I guess, in some logical way, something illogical, but you realize it was for a purpose. You guys had fun. It was more for the experience, and you might, maybe pick something up good if you know about weak, strong, Mr. Cheeky. Some of you guys might know what I mean.
How did you balance academics, extracurricular activities, and social life during high school?
I would say during your freshman and sophomore year, you guys are gonna have a blast. You're gonna be very chill. You won't have to worry all that much. And so yeah, definitely enjoy it a lot while you can. But if you do IB, you're gonna realize that you're gonna have to really hammer in that time management. I really recommend you guys don't procrastinate, because I did a little bit of procrastinating towards the end, and more than one essay isn't a good idea, especially when you gotta stay up a little late and read some books, and some of those books are pretty good books, I'll tell you that. But the way I managed it was I had a decent management. I was able to get a lot of my studies done, and that led to me getting some pretty good grades. And I also managed to play some video games and play with my friends and stuff. So that's pretty chill.
I would say balancing all 3 sports, extracurriculars, and the IB program, it's pretty tough. And your social life, it's not easy, especially if you're involved in everything all at once. But something that you gain from it is that you learn how to be dependent, you learn how to create a routine, and how to stay in that routine and just realize what works best for you. Like I know sometimes for me, and for all of us, we have to choose staying home versus going out. Or maybe you don't, maybe you choose to go out and have fun, and then you realize, oh, maybe I didn't do as good on that test as I wanted to. And that just means you have to work harder to get back on track. And so it's all, whatever you give in is what you're gonna get out. So I think that's just something valuable, is that you just learn the balance on your own.
Yeah, it's definitely a trial and error, figuring out what works for you and what ends up being best. For me, I definitely prioritized my academics most of my high school year, and I remember staying up super late because it was difficult, but because it was difficult, it just means you have to try harder, and that helps. But the thing was sometimes with sports was that sometimes I would have to stay home or leave practice early to retake a test or just to get to my homework. So it was kind of hard to balance that. And then extracurriculars, doing a lot was hard, just having to run around from from going to school straight to sports and then like to a meeting or something. But after a while you get into a routine, you get used to it, and you got it down. And yeah, so sophomore and freshman year, just try and figure out what works best for you.
I would say definitely take a break, give yourself a rest, because I didn't do that, and I would actually get sick, like physically sick, because I would stay up, I would be studying, and then I would just be like, okay, I'm gonna stay up till 3 a.m. to do this project, and I'm gonna go to school instead. That's not a good idea. Like, first of all, that's not a good idea, because after a week, you're gonna be dead, or you're gonna feel dead. So just take a break, allow yourself to have that one day a week where you're like, I'm gonna take this day, or like these 30 minutes, or this hour to myself, because I've put in so much effort into my school. You should also put an effort to yourself and to your health.
I think knowing when and what to prioritize certain events and like your academics is really important. Knowing that if you have an extra 30 minutes in your ASB class, you can start an assignment, which will then lead to you finishing it early and then being able to go to a football game or go to your practice. So just using that time, that extra time that you're given, and using it wisely.
Like Imani said, using that extra time will definitely help you in high school, especially with the juniors and seniors who are in the IB program who have those assigned time home periods or those AVID classes or athletics. One day you don't have practice. Definitely use those times to prioritize your assignments. Also have that work-life balance. A lot of high school kids want to go out with friends and they want to socialize. So definitely do that. Don't just spend most of your high school years worrying about your academics, even though they are important, but definitely try and go out, but also focus on school and maintain good grades.
One of the biggest things that helped me was like 5 minutes before bed, I just try to schedule my day out, and it was never perfect, but I'd go from a 2-hour basketball practice, or like a morning shoot around for basketball, to school, to a basketball practice in the afternoon, and then do homework. So I really had to stay on top of that. But the other thing that Dr. Brown might not be happy about me saying is, don't be afraid to like sleep in one day. Don't, because I sure wasn't. I like to think that I did okay. So give yourself some time, even if it means you show up to school late. It just gives you an opportunity to meet the attendance lady, who's very nice.
I'm going to talk a little bit about the schedule at Mission Bay. We have, I don't know how many of you know, we have an 8A B-Day schedule, which means we have 4 classes on 8A, and then the next day we have 4 classes on B-Day, and it alternates like that, just back and forth, back and forth. And that's great because it means technically you have 2 nights to do your homework for every class before the next time you have that class. So, for example, if I had like a GSA event like all night, one night, that I definitely was not going to be doing homework on, I knew I would have the next day to be catching up on everything and doing all my work. So something like that, that block schedule really facilitates extra time and extra balance. Also because that's 8 periods, you might only be taking 6 or 7 classes, and then you'll get these assigned time home periods in your senior year and senior and junior years, or something like AVID in your freshman and sophomore years, and that will give you a great opportunity to do homework, do extracurricular stuff, stay on top and of that sort of thing and keep your balance. And then finally, what Charlie was kind of talking about, staying organized. For me, I keep a planner. For you, it could be look like setting reminders in your phone, scheduling out your day. Really having that organization is so helpful to maintaining that balance.
I'd say a lot of it's like prioritizing what you need to do first, like whatever assignment is due tomorrow versus an assignment due 2 months from now, or if you're in a film, 2 years from now. And I feel like a lot of it was just, I would make like to-do lists every week, not necessarily like routinely, just because I was like realizing like, oh, I have like 7 things due this week. And then to actually complete those tasks, like just this last year, I found the Pomodoro technique. So it's like you spend a set amount of minutes on each assignment so that you can complete a little bit of all of them. And I think that was really beneficial. That's why I finished my extended essay on time, my TOK essay, my like IAs, and it was just really helpful.
Something that really helped me was leaning on the support I had around me. So last year I played club volleyball in Irvine, which is an hour drive away, and 2-hour practices, another drive back, many hours wasted that I could have been doing homework. But really what helped me was leaning on the teachers around me and those I felt comfortable with. Really communicating with my teachers was key. Like with Mr. Mora, I was in AP Calculus. It was a very strenuous class, very demanding, but really developing that relationship with him and having him understand my situation and him reciprocating the feeling was just an incredible experience, and it definitely helped me throughout. And same thing with Mr. Panion with last year. So definitely find those around you and look to them for help when it's needed.
Yeah, and I would say for me, something that definitely helped me just keep my time in check was using outside sources. So definitely, of course, nowadays we probably all have a phone, right? And use the apps that are at your disposal. A lot of them are free. I used applications that would give me daily reminders, would allow me to set my schedule, would give me motivational quotes. And what I learned was as we're growing up, we have a lot of aspirations and a lot of hobbies. And a lot of the time we try to cram everything in on one day to get the most practice out of it, but it's important to space yourself out a little bit and dedicate your time. Even if it's not like 1 hour, 2 hours max, like even 30 minutes per day is enough for whatever you want to do. And you learn just as fast, actually. So definitely space it out and use applications that are available to you online.
What is your favorite Mission Bay High School memory?
Great question. That's an amazing question. There's a lot. I would definitely have to say about so I'm in a club called Debate Club. My friend Adrian Ramadi is president of that club, and I would definitely say all those meetings we had during lunch when we would just debate with one another about dumb topics, like for example why strawberry was better than vanilla or whatever it is. And honestly, besides that, just in general, just getting to meet my friends. Actually, we're an extremely diverse group, as mentioned previously. Yeah, I definitely see that was definitely one of my favorite.
So my favorite memory doesn't actually have to do with the academics here, it's really the sports, because we have incredible sports at Mission Bay, and I'm a part of the volleyball program. One of my favorite memories is our beach volleyball program made it to CIF semifinals my sophomore year, and I was partnered with my sister, who was a senior at the time, and that was just an incredible experience, and the coaching staff and everybody was just so amazing during my time.
I'd probably have to say our homecoming football game this last year, because we had these really awesome fireworks, and I was one of the people behind it, and I worked really hard to get it done from about February until when homecoming happened in October, and it was just a really wonderful experience. And then on top of that, we won, and we had a pretty nice halftime show with the floats and all the different dances, and it was just really fun. And I also love working concessions, so I did that earlier that day, so it was a really fun day.
My favorite memory at Mission Bay has to do with my Girl Scout Gold Award, which was this education advocacy project about LGBTQ history. Basically, I made these slideshows about LGBTQ history in collaboration with the Mission Bay Gender Sexuality Alliance, and then I went around and presented them to different schools. And at the end of the project, I thought, hey, wouldn't it be nice to present to Mission Bay as well? So I organized with Ms. Lazinski to present at one of the staff meetings and be basically like, hey, can I come into some of your guys' classes and talk about LGBT history? And I was so scared. I was like, these teachers are at a staff meeting, they just want to get out of here. They don't want to hear some kid talk to them about history or whatever. But I get up there and Ms. Lazinski introduced me and everyone just started clapping, and I felt so much support from the staff, not just supported as a student, but as a person and as sort of as a Girl Scout, as an organizer. And I ended up going into a lot of classrooms, and I had so much understanding from the teachers and the students and engagement in the project, and I was really happy to have Mission Bay's support on that, so that was great.
This past year, the basketball team made it to the Division I championship, and I remember warming up 30 minutes before the game, which was in Otay Ranch, so probably 30, 40 minutes away from here. And I was really nervous, and we went back to the locker room, and our coach started talking to us, and we came out, and right behind our bench in a huge gym was probably 100 Mission Bay students plus, made a big student section, and we ended up winning, and they ran onto the court, and one of my good friends who's a junior, Caden Taff, took off his shirt, and we did a jersey swap, so it was a really fun time.
I would say probably my junior year. I'm a part of the girls basketball program, and we had made it to semifinals. And even though we didn't win, but it's okay. It just felt great putting in all that work up into that moment, all that dedication, all those 2-hour-long practices, all those shoot-arounds, but still like having support from the coaches at the end of the day, and just realize that it's okay, and I still had my senior year. So I would definitely say sports was definitely.
I would say all of our homecomings that we had have been incredible, just because it's so much stress and so much fundraising that it takes to put on, and then finally you get almost 800 kids in the area jumping and dancing and having a blast, and it's a great experience just to see all the hard work that everybody puts in just to go into one event. It's great.
For me, it's definitely any memory I have with like a club I'm a part of, which is Outreach Club, which I mentioned before. Like, we have a lot of fun because we do a lot of volunteering because it's a community service club. Like, last year we went down to the Humane Society and they let us like get some clothes for our pets, and so a bunch of the girls and I were like sifting through the dog clothes, and we're like finding these cute little dresses we're gonna put our dogs in, so that was a lot of fun. There's also a club here at school, which JK and Rosie are a part of, and Jalen, and it's called the Library Club, and we're always having fun in there. Yeah, we love it.
I was actually going to say Outreach Club as well. We have field trips, and they've been fun, but also rewarding at the same time, because we go out and give back to the community by like creating clothing drives here or food drives, and then we give back to an organization called PATH, and we'll serve lunches there, and not only do you get to hang out with your friends, but you're also helping others, and it's really a rewarding experience, and it's a lot of fun.
I would definitely probably say performing and exploring the streets of Japan. Like, are you kidding me? It's so cool. The whole point of our trip, it was like cultural. It was a cultural trip, and it's also kind of a business trip where the whole point we went was to maintain and foster the San Diego and Yokohama Sister City alliance, I guess we could say, relationship. And so we went to our sister city high school in Yokohama, Japan. And I made a few friends that speak English there, and we still text today. And I think that's so cool. There's some alumni that I know from the Mission Bay Music Program that say they still talk to their Japanese friends, and I'm like, wow, that is so insane. I probably would have never left the country so young had it not been for that. So I think that's pretty epic.
I'll tell you guys about two of my experiences, because, well, technically one is Mission Bay on campus, but everybody experienced it, and that's on Zoom. And I won't say exactly what it was, but it involves some, like, red astronauts, to those who understand. But the other one I experienced on campus is mainly a blend of simply hanging out with my friends during my sophomore year, because the prior year it was basically online and stuff. I made some really deep friendships, and I remember spending all the time just over in that back corner over there. Some of you guys will discover it, but it's like a dream, Eventually you guys are gonna realize, you're gonna look back in like nostalgia, and it's gonna be just that one memory of that simple conversation. You probably don't remember what it was about, but for me, like I said, I forgot. But I remember, I look back in nostalgia, and I'm just happy about it.
How did you approach building relationships and networking with peers and teachers in high school?
For me, I was really fortunate to have gone to Longfellow, because Longfellow was from kindergarten all the way to 8th grade. And so I made a lot of long-lasting friendships there. But when it came to Mission Bay, as I previously mentioned, eventually the first couple of months, I didn't really have that many friends besides my Longfellow ones. But then I eventually discovered this one friend, and then he introduced me to his other friends, and so it's just like a cascading effect of where you know one person and then you eventually know the rest. And so that's mainly how it goes, how at least it went for me.
Like I previously mentioned, I was pretty shy in middle school, and so not being able to really experience my first year because of COVID, I feel like that really made me want to reach out even more the next year, because I knew that I was on borrowed time. I only had 4 years and already 1 year was gone, so I really wanted to put myself out there. And immersing myself in a handful of clubs. I founded our school's architecture club with a friend. That's the degree that I'm going to pursue next year. And so I definitely think that like just putting yourself out there, and if there isn't exactly a space for you, you can always make one. And your peers and your staff, your faculty will support you.
Yeah, just like reaching out to others is a big thing. I was also shy, and then sophomore year I took the opportunity to just talk to everyone. And that's actually how I met Camilla. We were in the same Spanish class, and I just complimented her outfit, and boom, we're like best friends now. So just talk to everyone. And then for me, my engineering class was a big one. I'm like group projects. So junior year mainly is like when you get into project base, and that helped me like work with others and like having to balance like splitting up the work between everyone, and like also connecting with the teacher, with Mr. Mann. Like we had to learn how to use each machine on our own, and like you had to go in on your own free time, and like it just taught you to just really just take charge of like what you're doing and working with others and making sure that they're doing what they need to do to get done.
I feel like there's something so beautiful about like peer and staff connections. There's like I said before, this someone really important to me in my life, which is Miss Coda, who's in the front office, and she connected me to a program called First Gen Scholars, which is basically a nonprofit that helps out first generation college students. And I applied to this 5-week summer program, and I was accepted, and it was this amazing program that was held at Hoover actually. And a bunch of students from different high schools that were also first generation, we all went to Hoover High School, and I got connected with other first generation students. So I got to make bonds with other students from other high schools, as well as like connecting more to like students from my high school who like are kind of going through the same thing as me, but also aren't, because everyone is like so unique and they have their own stories, and it was very beautiful hearing everyone else's.
Yeah, as previously said, just joining clubs, putting yourself out there, sports as well. I mean, we were all on Zoom when we first started, so it was a little bit of a different experience. You know, we had cheer on Zoom, which was definitely, wouldn't do it again. But with that being said, you know, putting yourself out there into those spaces will definitely help you build connections, and with those connections, you can make more.
Like Camila had talked about First Gen, which is now a club at Mission Bay, as well as a nonprofit. I definitely, with BSU, the Black Student Union here at Mission Bay, have definitely connected with a lot of other students at different schools, inner city schools, schools from out of town, especially with all the field trips we go on, a lot of community service activities. And so that definitely helps with networking. Also playing sports, you get to meet a lot of different people, and even have the chance to play against one school a previous year or during off season. So definitely clubs and sports is definitely a great way to network.
I kind of lucked out. I was forced to spend time with my teammates in basketball, who became my best friends. And as far as faculty relations, my older brother was like the Mission Bay poster child, so I'd walk into classes the first day and they'd be like, "Hutchison, I know your brother," and they would love me for the rest of the year, so I lucked out.
I'm going to repeat what I said earlier about clubs. They're really great for making social connections. I started a writing club my freshman year on Zoom, so that was a great way just to make friends and get together with people with common interests, and those are some of my friends to this day in high school. And then also, clubs let you make, like I said earlier, clubs let you make friends with people from all different grades, and that really is good for your network as you grow up, because when you're a senior, when I was trying to decide what college to go to, I was messaging people from mock trial last year, people I've been in clubs with before, because now I have all these great seniors who were a year older than me and are spread out all around the country, and I can ask them about their experience and get advice from them, which was really amazing.
I'd probably just say, like, don't be afraid to talk to people. Like, coming out of COVID was really hard. Like, the Longfellow kids, we had our little bubble. We didn't really know that many other people. So then, like, coming into sophomore year, I met my best friend in my sophomore English class, and, like, now we're inseparable. And, like, just talking to new people. Like, if you go to PBMS or, like, wherever you go, you're gonna have the kids that you used to know, and then there's gonna be more kids that you get to meet. And just don't be afraid to talk to them. willing to reach out and be willing to start something new?
I would say just really being yourself really helped me throughout my high school career, and even in middle school, that's where I made a majority of my friends, although I'm still very fortunate to have a friend that I met at Barnard in kindergarten. But really just being yourself, and you'll attract the people who want to be around you, and those are the core friendships that you'll make forever.
Yeah. And I would say one of the straightforward ways actually is your table mates, because of course in all of your classes you're going to be among your other peers, and I would say definitely be respectful, be kind, and eventually you'll definitely make your connections that way with your peers. Actually, all of my current friends in my friend group, we met each other through different classes. For example, my Lebanese friend Jimmy, I met him in math class, and from there we respected each other. We felt a good connection with each other, and here we are today.
What are you most proud of accomplishing during your time in high school?
I would definitely, this was actually recent too, being able to tell my parents that they would not have to pay for my college, and I would be the first one in my family to do so.
I would say definitely maintaining all A's throughout high school was an incredible accomplishment of mine, especially not being a strong English student or history student, and obtaining the grades that I sought out was really helpful. And then as well with sports here at Mission Bay, I was very fortunate. I joined when I was a freshman, even though a very short season due to COVID. But until I worked hard, and one of my greatest accomplishments is I got Player of the Year for our beach volleyball team, and I got Female Student Athlete for the spring season here at Mission Bay, and that was just incredible to receive my senior year.
I got to participate in a program at SDSU called Star Talk, and I got to learn Russian for a year, and I learned about it through the school, and that was like, it was really hard and it was not fun, but it was really beneficial to have that new language that a lot of people don't know, and it's definitely one of my most proud accomplishments, just because it took a lot of time and hard work.
I'm really proud of the academic work I've done at Mission Bay High School. For the IB courses, in every class you have to write an essay called the internal assessment. So even in math, you write a math essay, which was a little weird but a lot of fun. And now I am leaving high school with a math research project, a biology research project, film analysis, English analysis, and I'm gathering all these papers together and looking at the work I've done, and I feel like, this is what I said at the beginning, I feel like such a stronger writer and thinker because of Mission Bay High School, and I know that will help me going into the future.
My proudest accomplishment probably came junior year. I had volunteered for an organization called Kids vs. Cancer, where kids who had been affected by cancer throughout their lives would go and advocate for pediatric cancer laws. And I would get on Zooms and lead pediatric cancer calls, or calls about the pediatric cancer law, with Senate staffers. I met Marco Rubio's staffer, a bunch of very notable people, and junior year we got the Race for Children Act passed, which was pretty incredible, so that was nice to see.
I would say my biggest, one of my biggest achievements here at Mission Bay is maintaining my high GPA and grades all throughout high school, especially with extracurriculars going on, and definitely keeping the BSU program up and running with the Vice President Imani. I mean, with the President Imani, because I'm the Vice President, she's the President.
Yeah, as Shakayla said, building our BSU has been incredible. When we started, well, she wasn't here our freshman year, so it was smaller, but when I started, we were on Zoom, there was only 4 people, and we were all officers, because that's how many officers there are in a club. And now we have nearly 30. So being able to build that yearly, we go to the Black College Expo, and for the past 2 years, we've racked in almost $100,000 in scholarships for the students going there that go to the expo just from our school, which has been incredible. And also just having an outlet and resource for students that isn't present without us joining together and just creating a safe space has been, I'm super proud of it, yeah.
So I was class president for my sophomore and my junior year, and I helped raise over $20,000 for my class. So I'm pretty proud of that, even though there are things that I wish I would have done differently. I'm just proud of what I did.
For me, it was AP Calc, just completing it, and then I got a 4 on my test, which I was not expecting at all. But for me, math was something that I really struggled with, and so getting that score back, I was like, wow, if I can if I have the drive and passion for something, I can get it done, and that really motivated me to continue.
Yeah. I guess something that I am proud of is being a band leader this year. So I think that's pretty cool. I started off freshman year in our most basic ensemble, and I moved up to our around the globe traveling group, and I'm band leader. So I would say that is something I definitely am proud of, and also just having such a strong connection with I would say all my teachers, and even teachers that aren't my teachers. You can make friends with anyone, and I think that I know that for my extended essay, I had 2 teachers that in all my 4 years here, I didn't have their class. I felt comfortable enough for them to help me have them revise my stuff, and I think that it's really important that you guys moving forward feel able and comfortable with everyone around you.
Despite it all, despite all the troubles and challenges I had, all the times I wanted to really give up, to quit IB, the times I didn't really want to do it anymore, I wanted to, not just settle for less, settle for a lower grade. I made it here. I got a 4.5 GPA at the end of it. I'm going to graduate with a couple APs on my belt. And when I really look back at it, I see that, I got into a college, and a good college at that. And so that's what I see at the end of it, the end of the finishing line, that I made it, and that's important to me.
Well done.
Can we give them all a round? Because I am so impressed with all of this. You guys are amazing. All of you very proud of yourselves. I want to thank our 5th graders who will be promoting to middle school here in a few weeks, and our 8th graders who will be the new incoming freshmen in a few weeks as well. And thank you all for coming and being part of this. Please spread the word, because I would love to get more and more community members here, more and more people from the elementary to see the amazing things that are happening, from the middle school to see the amazing things that are happening. It will be on YouTube, so please spread the link and share it. You guys are amazing, and I am proud that you are going off to represent us so well, because you guys are awesome. So thank you, good luck, enjoy the last few weeks, and give yourselves some grace this summer to do something fun and not academic.